Now, one of the things about a mud puddle is you can do the puddle itself first, or you can do the mud around it. And what I like to do is do the puddle first and then the mud. What I like to do is take the word mud puddle and say, okay, it's first puddle, then mud. So maybe I should just call this a puddle mud. That sounds good to me. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of brown. These are all Martin F. Weber Company Prima acrylic paints. They're excellent. They're very inexpensive, and you can find them in nearly most arts and crafts and fine art stores around. And they're just excellent for this technique. So check them out the next time you're looking for paint. Alrighty, what I'm going to do first, okay, is get a small brush, and that should be this one right here. Okay, and like I said, we want to first get some of the blue color that we have right here. And did you see how I did that? Okay, all I did was go into the even flow, and see how that unlocked? When acrylics become wet again and mixable again, that whole process is called unlocking. Now don't forget, every few minutes we need to spray our paints just to make sure that they stay wet. And the reason being is once you know how acrylics dry, which is through evaporation, you realize that if you have a fine coat of water, that's going to seal them in a bit so they don't evaporate. And what truly evaporates, all right, is the water. Okay, so let's head back up to the canvas here. What I have here is a dark canvas, and I'm just going to go ahead and put the back of a mud puddle. And I know that as a mud puddle comes forward, you're going to see less and less. Okay, so that's my mud puddle. Alright, so I'm just going to set this brush down for right now. I'm going to bring over a light blending brush. Okay, and let me just talk about this for a second. This is a hockey brush, a Hake brush, and it's a little bit wet right now because we've been using the medium on it, but that's okay. You can always grab a paper towel if you feel the need and dry it. Okay, you'll find that I use this a lot more than you can imagine, because the more that I can clean a brush with a paper towel, then the less I'm putting into the elements and the chemicals. Okay, so what we can do here is we can pull this down slightly just to give it a slight uneven edge, okay? And then backwards and forwards. You see, I don't worry about all the colors over here because remember, this is a puddle mud. Alright, so go across just like that. Now let me get my mud. And here we go. We'll take the mud and just put it right in here. I'll take a little bit of black to go with it, just to darken it down. Alrighty. There we go. And I can say, okay, we got this color. Ooh, that's a nice ugly brown, isn't it? I like that. And here we are, we're coming in from this area. You know, this could be in the middle of a road. It might be just a clearing. Alright, so there's our mud puddle. And there it is. And perhaps we'll want to highlight it so it does not look so lonesome. Take a little bit of the white, put that right in there. Mix it in good, maybe a little bit more of the alizarin, or burnt sienna. And here we are, just very lightly. Just highlight around it. And you know, one of the interesting things about doing these workshops is that in order to practice these different things, you have to paint so many other things. So here I am painting dirt, And all I really want to do is practice a mud puddle, but that's okay. Now wait until you start practicing trees and grass. You'll have to paint so many other things, okay? Isn't that fun? We get you to paint more than you realize just through this workshop series. Okay, and there it is, coming right across. Yeah. Who knows why? It's just there. Alrighty, that's looking good. Very good indeed. So what I'd like to do is take a, let's just take another brush, a soft brush. Here's the same number 2 brush, but in a soft. And I want to take some of the phthalo blue. There we go. And I want to paint this water because the canvas is showing through, and that's not really what we want to see. So we'll just go ahead and paint this again, just like that. You know something? I think you learn a lot more by seeing how to correct an issue and make it perfect than you do by seeing someone do everything perfect. All right, I would not. Okay, but you never know exactly what the colors are going to be until we can actually fill in, and I think that's exactly what I'm going to do, because that'll really show you something else. Is it like if you're in the middle of the road and you got a mud puddle right in here, this is how you would do it. You just paint the whole area where the mud puddle is with the blue color. There we are. And just a touch of that medium so that things will flow well. Don't be afraid to use that medium. Otherwise, you'll use more paint than you need to because you'll be filling in everything with excess paint. Whereas with just a little touch of the medium, you can get the right amount of paint on there. Alrighty. Now, at this point, go ahead and wipe your brush. And let's take this lighter color. I'll take some more of the even flow medium. Okie dokie. And now we'll just come back. And we'll just pull down, pull down, pull down, pull down, pull down. See that? Probably getting the idea. It's all in the pull down. And I can take my number 8 that we used before. Alright, there we go. You see, if you see something that doesn't look well, then just go ahead and attack. And what was it that I did not like? Well, I had nothing but black gesso here, and then when I went ahead and put in the puddle, it just looked too black. It didn't look natural because I didn't have the blue in there. So we went back, we put the blue, and then we redid everything. So this is actually a mud puddle instead of the puddle mud we had going. So let's take a little bit of another brush, which is like a liner, and we'll take a number 1 liner right here, and we'll go right into our white gesso in just the least little bit of color. And that's because we want to put in a water line, because even mud puddles have their own water line. All a water line is showing you where the water is coming up against the land. All right? And generally what happens is it makes the tiniest waves. All right, there we are. And that's it. That's all that's required. Okay, if you want to, you can always add a line. So if this is just to show that the current's on top. All right, and maybe pull your finger over it.